Yeah, so we're here standing in front of Mamaja, or the native cherry, and some really cool facts about the native cherry. It's obviously not now, it's not in fruit, it's generally a summer fruiting tree. But the native cherry has got some really good traditional uses. It's really good for regulating also the temperature of the soil. It also helps helps with the uptake of nutrients in the soil. Yeah, so we've moved ourselves away from the ruckus down there, and it's good to see people up this way anyway, I guess, enjoying this special place. The native cherry tree is really useful, both from a traditional point of view and from an ecological, biological point of view, or botanical point of view. So traditionally, Mamaja, as I said, my ancestors referred to it. Native cherry was good for a few purposes. Really good for tool making, especially spears, spear throwers, and even bull roarers. That fact was picked up by Europeans in the early 1800s, and so through that period they started to use the wood, because it's a really fine grained wood, and a really pretty wood, used for the handles of axes, the stocks of guns, and back in the day, rollers for maps, because we didn't have Google Maps back then. That's how they used to roll them out in those times. The bark and the middle part of the tree is really high in tannins, and so it's believed that has a lot to do with why it can be used also in certain processes as a tonic. It can actually be used as a tonic to treat certain ailments. The root system in itself, the native cherry, is actually a form of a parasite, so it's related to like the mistletoe. But as a plant, it actually can photosynthesize itself, but it does drain some nutrients out of the root system of a host tree. So they share a relationship, and it's why it's regarded as a really good tree, or a metaphor for reconciliation, because they've got to work together. The roots and the tree itself, the native cherry, Mamaja, really good for soil health. It can regulate the temperature of the soil and actually start regenerating some of the nutrients. And after a while, what it does is, unfortunately, the host tree often can die, and then it opens up the canopy as well. So it's a very useful plant. The thing about, of course, it being called the native cherry is that it has a little fruit on it. Now, a lot of people make the mistake, they're thinking that the fruit is the little red, swollen, almost mini tomato-looking piece that comes off the branches. Probably no bigger than my pinky. However, that's not the fruit. The little wooden hard wooden stalk at the end of that is actually the fruit. But you hold on to that bit, and during the summer months, there's a motorbike, that's good, bless them, you eat that little bit of red swollen part of the tree, and it's a high level of sugar, and it's really good, full of good nutrients and phytonutrients actually. It's a summer plant, so that's the native cherry.